Hello everyone, I'm Tim from Tim's PC and I build custom PCs to suit anyone's needs or budget. I also live stream all of my builds and repairs for transparency and educational purposes. So if you would like to get an awesome new PC and you'd like to see it get put together live, send me a message today. Alright, in today's video I thought we'd cover off what a Windows setup actually looks like. And what do I do when I set up Windows for my customers in new system builds? So this is what I do for all of my new systems. Not every PC place does all this. Some people just sort of ship the computers out as is, ready for the end user to set up Windows. But I actually go through and I install everything. I run stress tests on the computer to make sure the thermals are performing right and that the computer's not overheating and that there's no other issues with it at all. So it takes a little bit of extra time, but that's the service that you pay for when you get a PC through me. So this is the first sort of screen that you'll end up seeing in Windows, right? And it's trying to get you to use Microsoft Edge straight away. So we can just click maybe later on that for now. So this is how I personally set up Windows, because this is the way that I find it's got the best sort of functionality, best usability, all that kind of thing. So to start off with, the first thing I normally do is I get rid of this search bar. I don't think that's really necessary there. If I want to search, there's other ways in the start menu I can get search. That search bar is just trying to get you to use Bing. We can get rid of the Cortana button, and we can get rid of the task view button. We can also unpin things that we don't want down here, and we can hit Alt Control Delete, click on Task Manager, which can be handy to have available. And what we can do is we can right click on Task Manager, we can go Pin to Taskbar, and then it's always there. Alternatively, if you right click, Task Manager is also right there. So now we've sort of configured this stuff down here, so we're going to connect to the internet and we're going to start getting some Windows updates come through. So you could plug in a cable, or you could connect to the Wi-Fi if your computer has Wi-Fi. So now we've connected to the internet. Windows is already starting to set some things up in the background there. But we want to go into Start, and we want to click on Settings. And we want to go to Update and Security. We want to go check for updates. And so what this will do, Windows will find a lot of drivers and a lot of things that come with this computer, and what it will do is it'll automatically install those drivers for us, so we don't have to go searching for them. So what I've got here is I've got an SSD that's got a lot of software on it. These are mainly apps that I put on the computer for stress testing. But let me USB-C at the front there. So I'll just plug in that drive, and so this will just save us downloading some stuff off the internet. Okay, so to get things started, I always make a couple of custom icons for the desktop. Windows 10 doesn't have a My PC or My Computer icon anymore, so I just make a little custom This PC icon and I put it up the top there. That's mainly just me with nostalgia, because I've used computers my whole life. I've used computers and Windows back from Windows 3.1 onwards, had every version. So I'm pretty familiar with it, and I like having this PC in the top corner there that I can easily access. The next one down, I usually like the recycling bin, but these are some of the other folders that I'll add. So I always add an applications folder. So whenever we install a new program in Windows, it normally makes an icon for the desktop. You drag all of the applications into that applications folder, and then you don't have icons all over the screen. The other one you might want to do is make a custom games folder for any games that you install. And so say this Microsoft Edge, this is an application, so we'll just drag that into the applications folder. Some of the other ones that you might want to put there is documents folders for various things that you work on. I've got one for my business. I've got a general one. Some people might want to put a scratch drive link to the drive that they do all of their video editing and photo editing work on for easy access. But these are things that you can do if you want to do them. So you can customize any icon that you want. So if we went to setup here on my SSD and right clicked on setup, went to properties and went over to customize, we can actually go down to folder icons and change the icon, and it gives us a big long list of various icons. So you can make custom folders this way. So you can just go right click, new folder, call it whatever you want, and you can make it whatever icon you want. So that's just one of the little things that I do for a Windows setup. Other than that, we get some other apps installed. So I always install Google Chrome. I always install this app here. It's called CPU-Z. I also install Crystal Disk Info, which is a storage device diagnostic tool. It's basically a scan tool for your storage devices. It'll tell you if a hard drive's failing and how much life an SSD has left in it. So we'll install that. Open this up. So we can see that this NVMe SSD here is only showing up with 27% life left. So it's had a hard life. And this is the SATA SSD here that's plugged in. It's not giving a percentage just because of how it's plugged in. If it was plugged into the computer, it would display a percentage. So Chrome is installed. The other one we install here is Crystal Disk Mark. This is an app that allows you to test the speed of your storage devices. So once again, when I'm setting up a computer, it's a good tool to use just to make sure that our drives are configured properly and are running at optimal speeds. So it's one way we can check the speed of our drives. Other than that, if it's a gaming PC, which this one is, I install various gaming apps. So we're going to install the Epic Games launcher here. This is for games like Fortnite. We're going to install this app here. It's called Furmark. This is a bit of a dangerous app. I install it on new PCs because it's fine, but if you have an older PC, you should be very careful running this app. It's pretty demanding, and if you've got an older PC and it's kind of like on its way out, you might push it a little bit too far from running this, and you could actually do some physical damage. So yeah, the little fire icon on it it's an appropriate logo for it. So use that one with care. So GeForce Experience, this is an app that we want to help keep our graphics card drivers up to date and running the latest version. So all these apps are available on the internet for free. I should say that none of these are paid for. Hardware monitor, this is a very important tool in my stress testing. This helps me keep track of the temperatures of various components inside the computer. And none of these apps take up a lot of space. So I'm not installing what I'd call bloatware. Some might call it bloatware. But all of these apps have good functional purposes. It's not just, another media player for the sake of another media player. Alright, so these are applications. This is games related. Games related. And so we just keep installing these updates. How's Windows going? It's getting there. Let's get these optional updates. I always install these optional updates. Okay, GeForce Experience is installed. Another one we get is Origin. Origin is for games like The Sims, Command and Conquer, and various other ones. Some of them you can get through Steam, some of them are exclusive to Origin. So we just install this anyway. And moving down the list, we'll come to Steam. And then there's some graphics card benchmarking apps that I use for stress testing and just to demonstrate to customers what their PC is capable of in various benchmarks. So Valley and Heaven are pretty old. Superposition's relatively new. Another one that's good to install, and I'll install on a lot of people's computers here, is Office 365. It is a subscription service, but you can use the apps for free in a limited function. So it's always good to have that installed on a computer. And then, you know, typically if you've got a work email account, typically your work email will have an Office 365 account attached to it. So if you sign in with your work credentials, you'll be able to use Office 365 at home. So that's one of the benefits of having a job like that. And the other one I generally like to install here is called VLC Media Player. And so the reason why I get that one is that it's a really light video player. It doesn't require a lot of resources to run. It opens up quickly and it's just very reliable. So it doesn't take up a lot of space, and it's compatible with pretty much any file type that you want to use with it. So very beneficial. Okay, so Steam and Origin are games. These are all applications. Alright, so we're just waiting on Windows updates to download. And we're waiting on Office there to download. That's pretty much all the main apps that I'll install on people's computers and do in a basic Windows setup here. And we always just wait for everything to install, and then we can do our restart. So it's always a good idea just to let everything run, because if not, you're going to have to restart the computer over and over and over again, and it's a real pain. Whereas if you just let everything download, and just if something says, hey, I want to reinstall this, just sit no, not now, we'll do it later, or whatever the option is. I just realized one key app that we haven't installed here that I always install. It's called MSI Afterburner. MSI Afterburner is software that we can use to tune our graphics card, and it also comes with a handy little application called RivaTuner Statistics Server. So if you've ever seen people running gaming benchmarks on the internet that have the overlay that has all the statistics on their CPU and their graphics card and their memory, that's RivaTuner. So we'll get that installed, and we're pretty much good to go. Okay, so that took a little while, but we got there, and we're gonna finish up by doing a reboot here. It's going to install the updates. So there will be some cumulative updates, so some other updates that we've got to download and install once this lot goes through. But once we've done that, we'll be pretty much good to go, and the computer's ready to use. And there we go, 100%. So let's just get the rest of those updates. So you see these annoying things that have come up on the screen. So we use Task Manager, we go into Startup, and we can actually disable all of these things from starting up automatically. That way when we reboot, we don't have to go through it all again. Alright, so it's got one more to do there, and that's pretty much it. So it's all we need to do to set up Windows at this stage. Now I'm on to stress testing the computer, and once the stress test's done, I'm ready to ship the computer out to the customer. So once everything else is done, make sure the date and time is correct for your region. You can sync it, you can set the time and date automatically. That's fine. The other thing you might want to do or have to do is you may have to set up a new drive. So you might have to go into this PC, click Computer, Manage, and go into Disk Management. Your new drive will be there to be set up. Other than that, that's pretty much all you've got to know. So this is basically what I do for every computer that I build. This is the setup, the standard procedure that I'll follow. I do this when we get to this stage. That's when I run all the stress tests on it to make sure the computer's completely fine and ready to ship out. And that pretty much covers it. So it takes about 20 minutes to do all this stuff, to get everything installed and get it all configured, and then my stress test takes about an hour and a half. So it's all in all, once I've finished, there's another 2 hours or so before it's ready to ship after I build it. So I hope you enjoyed this video. I hope you found it insightful. I hope it's made it easier for you when you need to go and install Windows. Maybe you've learned a few things from here. Maybe there's some things that I forgot to include in this video. Let me know. Don't forget to like and subscribe to the YouTube channel, and also like us on Facebook. And I'll see you in the next video.